crypto, keep your eyes wide. TCP SuperSystem, where the secrets hide. Opportunity zones will reveal the way. Trim capital partners lead us day by day. Searching for the signals, patterns all align. Stock market's moving, gotta read the signs. TCP's the system, knowledge is the key. Investing in the future, setting our minds free. See the rise and fall, but don't lose your grip. With education in hand, we will never slip. Learn to analyze, research every trend. Together we will prosper, it's not just pretend. Watch the charts rise, feel the wind in our sails. TCP's the roadmap, where insight prevails. In opportunities.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Just getting things set up here. Give me 1 second, if you don't mind. Give me 1 second. Get my other screen right here, and then we will kick this crypto rapid fire off. Anyone's in the chat, if you can confirm, if you can hear me, just give me a yes in the chat, if you don't mind. All right, shows we're streaming, so we're going to go and get started, folks. Again, Jason, TCP SuperSystem, created the system to identify opportunities in cryptos and stocks. Some me very well over the past 2 or 3 years, so I bring it to my community for free. Engage with us in the comments, and to put in requests in the comments, you must subscribe. So please do that and hit the bell so you don't miss these shows. And if we have any issues with the music or anything, please tell us in the comments it's too loud or not loud enough. It should be, just perfect. We've done this once before, and if we have any latency issues, let me know, because if it becomes a problem, just based on the internet connection or wire sessions, that way we don't have any latency issues. But just let me know. So again, today, Crypto Rapid Fire, we're going to be going through all the monitored cryptos, looking at the charts, discussing levels, signals, alerts. Of course, none of it's financial advice. Do this for informational, educational purposes only. Always consult a licensed advisor before making any trades. It is risky. All right, we're going to go ahead and start from the top here. Bitcoin, it's hanging in there for this early part of the weekend. I think I would say the Japan reverse carry trade rate hike decision didn't really spook the markets too much here. So that was nice to see. Now, granted, as rates continue to climb in Japan and we continue to drop, most likely even more in the first quarter once the new Fed person's been put in office and appointed. We could see some more volatility in the first quarter. We'll see. But starting here with Bitcoin, again, you can see that nice little pop on the daily candle. We're going from about 85.5. Now we're sitting at 88. Again, we're still in the middle of the zone, ladies and gentlemen. But you can see here, even on Bitcoin, we're starting to see positive momentum here in our standard deviation methodologies. We've got our white line. It's now penetrated above our green zone. If I can zoom in there, it's not quite where we want it, but you can see that orange line is now approaching the green zone. So if we do reach the upper extremes up here with that white line and that orange line continues, that's a firing point. So just be careful. Again, not quite ready just yet, but again, on the weekly view over here, you can see we're bouncing right off that, pretty much the 100-day moving average, which is generally an area of support. So could be a nice little support zone here. You can basically see almost a double or triple bottom here if you look at going back to November 21st. So we'll see how this plays out here. We are still in a confirmed downtrend, red cloud on the daily view and the weekly view. So area of volatility. So we'll continue to watch these. We'll be bringing you these live streams more frequently. So just stay tuned. All right. Favorite token, XRP, for the XRP army out there. Again, a lot of, especially with the standard deviation and the hot sensors, and where I feel like the biggest opportunities might be. So just keep that in mind. I try not to repeat the same thing over and over. And again, the messaging will continue to evolve and adapt as the markets change, the price actions, move one direction or the other. So just stick with us. I think you'll be pretty surprised at what you see and what the system output is. And we're still in the zone, that second zone of 3 that we've identified. So I'm still a little nervous here. Again, we're reapproaching the bottom of that cloud, which is a confirmed downtrend. That's always, again, an area of volatility. But just like Bitcoin, even on XRP, it doesn't look quite as nice. The white line is rising through that green zone, but the orange line is still well down here toward these lower extremes. So we're not too confident just yet with XRP. Again, I know there's prominent YouTubers out there that are talking about some massive things coming with XRP. And I do agree with that long term, but this is going to be one to watch. As soon as we start seeing some real demand from all the use cases and the ETFs. I know we're now over $1 billion on the ETFs, which is awesome. Probably more ETFs to come. So we'll see where we land with XRP. You look at the weekly chart over here. Again, you can kind of see it. We dipped down in that zone on the weekly, but based on that bar close, we're now this is a weekly candle, so where we are today is right at the top of that zone. So we're still, like I said, it looks like we're still in a confirmed downtrend here. So we'll see where it goes. This XRP H-bar, another one of my favorites. Again, kind of looks like XRP, or I'm sorry, yeah, it looks like XRP with the standard deviations. So I'm not going to repeat. So as long as we're hanging in here around the bottom of the clouds, I'm not comfortable yet. Now, one positive thing we are seeing here is the hot sensors. We're actually improving. So we've gone from yellow, orange, and orange back to yellow on the medium term there. And then on the short term, blue back to gray. So for those that may be new, these 3 hot sensors, it's white, gray, blue, yellow, orange, red. Red has historically been areas of the best opportunity. I can't really tell you to buy or sell anything. I'm not an advisor. But when we line these red hot sensors up with diamonds, especially the darkest green diamonds and darkest red diamonds, it tends to do us very well. So check this out on the weekly here for H-bars. Had a lot of activity, but you can see in the past, these dark green diamonds, that's what we're looking for. And more times than not, we want the hot sensors to be red. And I would like to see this on the daily view, but we're not really getting any diamonds just yet. So that's why I think we're going to kind of see this steady downtrend here. But you can see on that weekly view, we hit those level 3s. It kind of bottomed out. We had a quick rise. Again, when we hit that rise, we were in the red on the hot sensors on the weekly. We started hitting some level 3 diamonds. When we were getting that rise, because this is important. This helps me teach you when I'm speaking. You'll kind of understand when that white line is up here with those orange and blue lines. You want to try to watch the orange line on the way back down, and when it starts reaching toward the top of those extreme zones, that's typically where we begin to see a top out. And you can see just right there exactly what happened. Then boom, down it went. Right back towards support. We hit level 3 diamonds. Just so happened to be right at the 50-day moving average. So it's remarkable how that does, right? Right back up, we hit a level 1 diamond. Right back down, hit a level 2 diamond. Again, right between the 50 and 100 day. Right back up to level 3s. Right back down. Now we're hitting level 3s again on the green side. In this opportunity zone, so very interesting here for all H-bar. Trading at 11 cents today, December 20th. Hot sensors on the weekly, orange and blue. So we're getting there for sure. And again, if we start to see this thing turn, your next area of volatility is going to be at the bottom of that red cloud. So we'll have to monitor it. So, but yeah, H-bar not looking too shabby here for all H-bar. And obviously, again, everybody knows the council that makes up H-bars, massive corporations. So only makes sense that you would see adoption over the long term for this one. Again, not telling you to buy it, but take a peek and do your research. All right, 1 inch. 1 inch here, we can probably skip it. It looks like we're just on a continued downtrend, no major diamonds. Hot sensors aren't really orange or red, so we'll let 1 inch go for the moment. Ave, looks like the same thing here. Cardano. Let's stop here on Cardano for a minute. Again, same kind of position on the daily view, approaching the bottom of that cloud, so watch out there. On the weekly view, again, we're hitting the bottom of that zone, or pretty much getting toward the bottom of that zone. The bottom is 31.5 cents. We're currently 37.5. But you can see all this cluster of level 3 diamonds here. That is a good sign. At the same time, 2 of the 3 weekly hot sensors are orange. That's what we want. The only thing we're really waiting on here to really see a bottom out would be this white line in the standard deviation. We want it going higher up here in these extremes, so that's what we're looking for. So hopefully we can get that in the next week or two. So we'll keep watching Cardano. It's had a pretty nice turn down, just like the rest of them. But Arrow, let's see on Arrow. I will say this, you can see the zones we've identified. These are those massive leverage liquidation zones to the downside and upside. So again, you can see we've actually penetrated down through that one. Obviously hit some level 1 diamonds here recently. That was the latest one being December 18th, so 2 days ago. Again, that was when the hot sensors on the daily was orange. Now you can see we're already starting to get a little uptick here. Starting to see a rising white line on the standard deviations, but we're still down in those lower extremes. We're going to be approaching an area of volatility at the bottom of the cloud. So pay attention here. It might still resume lower, just like it kind of did here. You can see and kind of 3 times here, we went down, went back to the cloud, went down, back to the cloud, went down. So we really need to see some penetration above that cloud. And again, what we'll be looking for when that time comes is penetration above the cloud, probably to an area of resistance, either the 50-day or the 100-day, 200-day, and then back to the cloud, and then it'll typically resume higher. So that's what we're looking for with almost all of these. So I'll skip AMP and Anchor, API 3. We'll skip Algo. Tell you what, let's go get another. I want to take a look at Algo and get some new zones here for Algo. Let's see. Man. That would be. Oh no. Is my thing still flashing? Hang on, guys. I'm sorry. That's no good. Let's get rid of this. So sorry. There we go. My apologies. All right, let's get back in here. All right, so looking at the leverage, 9 cents. I would call it 9 cents would be absolutely dead bottom here. Now, I do like the fact we've got some heavier leverage up here, multiple levels here. Once we get to 12.5 cents, all the way up to basically 15 or 16. So let's just check our zones here. Yeah, we need to scale this one down. We're going to scale this all the way down to 9. Let's go too far. Let's just call it right. Let's just call it right there. So that's our zone. Obviously, we've already got zones up here for Algo much higher than that, but we should probably put some in here. I guess your immediate would be this 15, 16. So that's pretty close to where this zone already is. So we're not going to mess with that. We're going to leave that 28 cent target up there based on previous zones that we had identified. So we're going to leave that. Let me save that. Aptos, another one of my ones I'm trying to determine if I want to make a move on here. Again, you can see this one looks a little different than the previous ones we've covered this morning. Y'all hang on one second. I think my daughter needs me. Hang on. You okay, baby? Okay. She's playing with her baby dolls. So Aptos here, you can see on our hot sensors here at the bottom, coming off of two red ones right now. At the bottom of that zone, you can see we've already started to see a little rise in that price. Now again, we're still in a confirmed downtrend in that red cloud. We're going to have some targets up here. Once we penetrate through that cloud, we're going to be looking at that 50-day moving average, which right now will be around 234. Of course, that's going to continue to move lower each day that the price is below that, but so it might shift a little bit. But that'll be our first area of resistance once we break through that cloud. And look at here, almost white line standard deviations on Aptos, where we've penetrated the green. It's kind of hovering here. We need it to get up to these upper extremes, and we need that orange line to be penetrating up through that green zone. So still not ready yet, but I do love this weekly view on Aptos. Again, you'll notice this is a little different than the previous ones today. Both short and medium term hot sensors are red with tons of level 3 diamonds. This is looking fantastic for Aptos. Again, you got to do your own research, make your own investment decisions, but this is looking pretty healthy here at this point in time. So I like Aptos still. Again, I'm kind of considering probably a play in either Aptos or Jupiter in the very, very short term. I just got to make my mind up. They're both looking pretty good, and we'll go over Jupiter here in a minute, which is a Solana token for those that may be new. And if you're watching as well, don't forget you have to be subscribed to be able to comment and engage through the comment section. And then if you want to see a token we haven't covered or that's not on the list, you can just let us know in the comments and we'll add it to our list. That way we can get the alerts. We can show you what the charts say. But we'll continue on here. Arweave, this is one our community brought to me not too long ago. Again here, we're in the middle of our zone. We'll try to blow this up for you. Right about 346 right now, smack dab in the middle. We are getting a level 1 diamond, so that's some positive, I guess, momentum here. That was on December 18th, so 2 days ago. And then our upper zones we've identified are somewhere around 740, give or take. Again, for this one, I'm not sure this one's over yet. We're reapproaching the bottom of that cloud, again, volatility zone, so be careful there. Hot sensors are still all below the midline. Not really. We're seeing some improvement. We went from orange to yellow, but these aren't really like the Aptos one. You didn't really see a bunch of red down here, so that's what I really want to see. I want to see red, and I want to see these dark green diamonds. So again, weekly view on Aptos, you can see we've had multiple level 3 clusters here, and going back to this big batch, that was back on March 10th of this year. And that's when the price was right around the bottom of that candle, was 529, and you can see the sideways chop, and we've continued a little bit lower here. So I would imagine we're getting pretty close here on Arweave for those that may be interested in that one. So do your research on that one. Arbitrum, man, Arbitrum. Let's look at Arbitrum on the leverage. I want to see, we may have a new zone here. Let's take a look. What we got here? Stone Brew. What's up, man? What's you got an L in the chat. I'm not sure what that is. If you want to explain that, if I'm missing something. But here's the leverage liquidation heat map on Arbitrum. You can see we're trading it basically that 19-cent mark right now. Now this is very light leverage down here. Again, we get to 0. You're looking at 14.2 to be absolutely dead here. So 14.2 upwards of, I'll say 23 to 27. So 14.2. So we need to go a little bit lower here. 14, oh, too far. 14. Let's call it right there. 14.2. And then we'll leave our upper zone the way it is. So that's the new zone for Arbitrum. Anything else here? We are red on the weekly view and orange, so not too bad there, coming off the level 3s and now level 2s while we're in this zone. So maybe that 15 to 14 zone is about right. We'll see what we get. Attracted. All right. Atom, Cosmos. Man, look at the brutal. Oh man, that's sexy though. Let's look at this here. We need to redo this one. Adam. Woo, lordy. That's nice. Let's see here. We get to 0. Well, I don't want to go $1.50. Well, I guess we can go $1.50. Is that 3 months? No, that's 1 month. Hang on. Let's go 3 months. Here we go. We get to 0 at, let's just call it 45. But what's better than that, you can see multiple high areas of leverage here around 258 and again at 436. So 258, 436, and we'll go to $1.45. Yeah, so this needs to come on down. So there's your $1.45 zone, folks. We're going to extend these. We're going to put another one in here at 236. Well, zones. Again, weekly view on Cosmos. We got orange and red on the weekly with level 3s. That's pretty sexy. Again, we're waiting on some slight improvement here on the standard deviations for Cosmos. We need the white line up here. Need the orange line in that green zone or penetrating through the top of it. So keep your eyes out for this one. Should be pretty soon. But if we can get this thing on down to $1.40, that'd be pretty nice. $1.45, 30% maybe, give or take. So watch out for that one. Avalanche update. Let's see. Looks like we nailed the bottom of that one. Looks like we came right off the smack dab off the bottom of that zone that we had identified. Again, we were in the orange, so not bad. No diamonds, however, which is unfortunate. Again, Avalanche long term already being used for the tokenization space. We like up over $30. So right now we're at 12. So not too bad for the future run. Again, just like the rest of these, 2 red hot sensors on the weekly, level 3 diamonds. Just need some improvement on that daily standard deviation signals there. So watch that. And again, I know there's a couple people watching, so we'll keep bringing these lives. And in the comments, if the live sounds good and there's not any, I guess, buffering or latency, let me know that it's looking good or sounding good, and we'll just keep rolling. Because I know the last one had some issues, and if we continue to experience that, we'll just record these. Because I want these to be clear, and I want these, where you can follow it and not be jumping around due to buffering. So just let me know. BNB. This is remarkable. Most people said I was crazy, but if you go back and look, I don't know how long it's been now. It's been quite $120 something, and we had said that it's going to go to like the mid 800s, and everyone said I was wrong. And here we are, 853. Right smack dab off the 200-day moving average. Fantastic. You can see there's even more potential here for downside action. Nothing in the hot sensors are screaming oversold yet. Again, still down below the green zones on all 3 lines for the standard deviation. Confirmed downtrend or the red cloud for BNB. Actually, you can see when we hit that peak, we've had the crossover on the weekly, and it's only white. So that thing could really. That could see a lot of pressure. So call me crazy, but watch for BNB. Again, you got to make your own decisions on whether you stay in or get out or get in. But that's probably one of the worst ones we've seen today, I'd say, just given where we are position-wise with these hot sensors. Doesn't look too great. Bonk token for your meme coins. Bonk token looks like we're getting there. We've got a zone identified here. That is, I'm not going to say all the zeros, but that's a 470 level up to a 683 level. So it's a little bit of ways to go still. Again, we are orange and red on those hot sensors. We got a level 1 diamond, so we're starting to see that formation that we want. Just not quite the bonk token for the weekly with 2 red hot sensors. So if you're into those meme coins and you think they're going to survive, that's the problem. They have to survive, and if they do survive, this one could run, but that is bonk. Centrifuge. Well, let's skip centrifuge. Chronos. Actually, I don't have my drink. Let's see. We've entered the zone. That's all I'm going to really say. You can see the upper zone there around 28 cents. We're currently at 9, but we don't really have any significant formation yet in terms of diamonds or the standard deviation. So we'll let it run. Dogecoin. Finally got a little bump here. Last couple days. Again, standard deviation just not where we need to be just yet, and we're at that area of volatility at the bottom of that cloud right here on the daily. Only yellow in the hot sensors, so very interesting here. This thing, typically when you get to this point, that's going from blue to yellow is a worsening hot sensor. Going from gray to white is improving, and that's the daily short-term hot sensor. So there's a lot of inconsistency there, so that just makes me worried a little bit. That again, that's why this is always an area of volatility. Everything else needs to line up here until we cross through that cloud, and see maybe a crossover on one or two of these hot sensors. I don't think it's quite ready yet for Doge. Again, ETFs out there underperforming, I would say, to date. So we'll see if that continues to be the case or if they start to see more inflows for Doge. So we'll see. Let's see, Polkadot. I added Polkadot because of all the developer activity. That's a positive sign, so that's not bad there. I will say we're in the zone. No diamonds yet. We do have level 3s on the weekly. Again, you can see that zone, level 3s. The upper zones have been identified. We've got 2. Let's just call it 375 and then 460. We're currently at $1.83. Again, orange, red on the hot sensors for the weekly. That's hard to get to red on the weekly. You don't usually get there that often. So start paying attention to Polkadot. Might be a nice little opportunity zone here. Ethereum. Ethereum. Interesting. I don't really have much to say about it right now. It's kind of in no man's land here with ETH. I'm going to leave that one alone. Filecoin. Look at this one. It's amazing. Oh, man. Look at that zone. Smack dab at the bottom. We bumped a little higher now. Again, back to that cloud, like we always say. You can see the 2 zones identified for Filecoin. Let's just call it 240 and 315. Currently at 131. So again, not a bad opportunity zone here. Area of volatility, so be careful. That we are seeing some improvements in the standard deviations. Again, need a little more improvement with the white, a little bit more improvement with the orange, and this one could be at a point where it's ready. Again, you can see the last level 3 diamond here was back on, that was October 11th of this year, right when the price was 151, and you can see what happened after that. That would have been a massive return, but now we're back down. Again, we hit the level 3 diamond up here at the top, so you can see how this system works. Actually, you can see multiple level 3 diamonds up here at the very top. So we actually crushed that one. On the weekly view here, you can kind of see it's kind of calmed down a little bit. It's gone a little bit. Well, I guess it's not really sideways, but again, red on the hot sensors for the weekly. That's pretty good. So that's Filecoin. Goldfinch. All right, here's a good one. So Goldfinch, we've now begun to see red on the long term, we're orange on the medium term, and we're gray on the short term. So again, we're at that bottom of that cloud. So we'll see if we continue this downtrend that we're in, or we can break it. And then what we'll be looking for, we want to see that confirmation of uptrend, which is that yellow label. So we're going to be looking for that. And then we're going to be looking for those standard deviation lines. So just A lot of these are kind of wait and see for the moment, but I think we're getting super close. I think a lot of people are done, so just be ready. The graph, look at the graph. Let's go look at this. Let me look at graph. Man. The graph, let's just call that 3 cents. Man, and then they got 9 cents for the upper leverage, so 3 and 9. So we're going to pop this down a little bit. Going to pop it down to 3. And then we've already got the 9 marked, so we already had that marked. So there's your zone. Again, we're smack dab in the middle of it. Starting to get that orange and red that we want to see. All right. The graph, folks. I have a hard time with this one. I like the graph, but you're competing with Chainlink. You're competing with. You have all 3 red hot sensors for the weekly view with level 3 diamonds. Fantastic. Starting to see that rising white line. Fantastic. Just not quite there. Maybe 2-3 more days, we'll really have a good idea where this is going. But watch the graph. That might be a nice one for the short term. Helium. Helium we'll leave alone for now. Hyperliquid. Ooh. Let's go update our charts for Hyperliquid. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? Hope y'all can see that. They hit right at the top of that leverage. It's crazy. Let's just call it 1927. Then, man, Hyperliquid, folks. Lots of leverage to the high side. I mean, we got multiple levels here. We got, 32 all the way up to 55. So we're gonna say we're gonna go 19. Yeah, we're gonna do this. How about this? I'm gonna make a separate one for this one. All right, so there's your secondary zone for Hyperliquid. Obviously, we've already got the 50s identified for the high side, so that's looking pretty good at this point. Chart-wise, level 3 diamonds starting to form on the weekly. Level 1 starting to form on the daily. Again, we're in that area of volatility, so not ready just yet. But again, you can see the kind of returns that are likely to occur. Again, no promises with the system. It's not financial leverage the system, folks. Jupiter, that's my other big one I think that's coming. Here it is. Looking sexy. Tons of level 3s on the weekly. We're in the red on the weekly. We bounced right off the bottom of the zone at roughly 16.7. Coming off a red and actually 2 red hot sensors here on the daily views. That's the medium and long term. Short, so we need to see that cross. And I would like to see a confirmed uptrend label here to kind of show us that transition. And then off and running we could be. Now look at this one. We're getting closer here. The white line here for our old Jupiter. We're approaching the red zone. We need that orange line to get to the bottom of that green zone. Off and running we might be. That'll be, again, those two too bad there. That's probably a 2 to 3x. So that's what we're looking for there. Kusama. For those interested in Kusama, again, high side identified 15 to 16. We're currently at 7, so more than a double up. We're in the middle of the zone, approaching areas of volatility. Hot sensors the standard deviation on this one doesn't look as good. We're still all 3 below the green zone. Only yellow on Kusama. Chainlink's going to be massive. And I hope I'm still connected here. Let's see. Yep. So Chainlink, we've had some sideways chop here. Again, middle of the zone. The low side there, 1044. Again, we're starting to see improving standard deviations lines. The hot sensors are still yellow and blue. So there's still some potential volatility there. Level 3 diamonds, level 2, level 1s. So just some inconsistency in the market right now. That is the 200-day moving average on the weekly view, so that's something to note. And see if we bounce there. If we do, I would likely think we would bounce back to the bottom of the cloud to start with at 1483. So that's almost $2 from here. And then we'll see where we go. But notice on the daily, and these can switch fast, but that is a confirmed downtrend that just formed, red cloud. So as that hits the bottom of that cloud, unless we see significant improvement in that standard deviation, I would expect us to go lower here. So we'll see. This is a triple bottom though. So pay attention here to chain link. Maker. Wow, look at Maker. All right, so here's our first one, folks. This is the best chart of the day so far. Maker, look at this. That's surprising. This is one of the first at the high side. So there is your confirmed uptrend. You can see when we hit the bottom over here, that was on November 22nd, we were orange and yellow, no diamonds. We pumped through the cloud like we always say. We hit that resistance, level 1 diamonds. It came back to the cloud, and then up we go. Excuse me. But look at here. White lines in the extreme is penetrated through that green. That is a massive firing point. That is strong, very strong. So I would not be shocked to see this thing hit 1729, which is that 200-day, pretty quick here. And look at here. We've had a crossover on the daily. We're getting stronger. Crossover on the medium term. And we've gone from orange to yellow, blue, gray, white. And we're about to cross over on the weekly long term, or the daily long-term hot sensor. That's awesome. And what's else is a remarkable hit here. Look at this on the weekly. You also haven't seen this yet on any of these charts. The standard deviation on the weekly, the white line is approaching those extremes. Orange line is penetrated through the green. Blue is approaching it. That is the go zone, my friends. And tell you what, we're gonna. I won't do that. Just watch Maker. It's 1477 right now. We'll just see what happens. But that is beautiful. Side yet, so no level 1s, 2s, or 3s. So fantastic. This thing could pump. And since we have this, let's go look at our zones and see where we could go. Ah, damn, they don't have it. That sucks. All right, so no leverage data for Maker, but we'll be able to monitor the diamonds. We'll be able to monitor the standard deviation going forward. So we'll watch that one. Near, this is, I'm putting this in the AI bucket, by the way, for those that like AI plays. Again, area volatility, nothing too extreme, so that's good for the long-term outlook. But short-term outlook on the daily chart, probably still some volatility to come for Near. Ondo. All right, Ondo. If for those that are watching, give me a thumbs up in the chat, or a yes, or sounds good if y'all are enjoying that, or if there's any other tokens you want me to cover. Maybe you missed one, or maybe there's one on that isn't on here that you want. I am monitoring the chat, so you do have to be a subscriber to chat, so please be aware. Again, Ondo. I mean, pretty much right smack dab in the zone. Level 1 diamond formed on the 18th, 2 days ago, right when that long term was in the red. So perfect. Standard deviation lines, again, not where we want it to be yet. So still some volatility here, probably for Ondo, just not confirmed. We're going to see optimism. Well, I will show you optimism. So optimism, this is not looking too bad either. Orange and red on the hot sensors, 2 red hot sensors on the weekly, level 3 diamonds. Just waiting on that standard deviation line there for optimism. Plume, woo. Hang on a second. Oh, Plume. Good gracious. Look at this. God, it's so sick. This is sick, folks. This is the game. They've literally taken out all the leverage on Plume. I don't see how this thing can go any lower. Just opinion. We do have some high leverage here, considerable high leverage for this token. That's at 0.026. It's not a double up, but again, you can see the high size that we've identified previously for Plume. We're talking about 12 to 16 cents. Looking at that, I have a hard time thinking this is going to go much lower. We've got the diamonds, we've got red hot sensors, we've got red hot sensors with level 3s. The white line is now penetrated through the green zone on the standard deviation. Orange line is approaching, blue line's trending. 2 or 3 more days there, that should look pretty. If it does, watch Plume. All right, there's our Pith token. This is one that I mentioned when we were talking about the graph. So Pith, again, smack the bottom of that zone. We got level 3s on the weekly with red. We had 2 reds on the daily. You got upper zone of 20 cents. That's almost a 4x. So standard deviation, watch it next 2 days. Quant. Let's see here. Triple bottom for Quant. Off the top of that zone twice. Two of those 3 times. So that's a good sign. We are approaching an area of volatility. The standard deviation lines are improving. Just need a couple more days again, just like those last couple. So we'll watch Quant here. I don't have any. Let's go check render. I think render is going to be big personally, but oh, they don't have it on render. Damn. All right. So we don't have leverage data on render, but again, you can see level 3s all over the weekly view. News out there and stats show parabolic network growth. Level 1s on the daily would look too great. We're still in the lower extremes on all 3 lines, so still a lot of work to go there. Radium. We'll skip that one. Shiba. Do we not have leverage data for Shiba? Let's see. Yeah, we do. This is probably going to be ugly, though. When you get these meme coin prices get so damn low, it's hard to look at the leverage data, but it is here. You get down to 0. I mean, you're talking about, good Lord, 57432. But you can see the upper zones. They're going to go get this leverage, folks. It's going to go higher, and that's probably where it's going to go. And I think we already have that identified, but we'll double check. So 013 on the high side, and it's 57432. 57. So there's your lower than that. Basically, there's your low zone for Shiba. Ooh, that's pretty gross. And then a lot higher. So I'm not going to really mess with that one. Solana. I love Solana. Chart doesn't look. I mean, we're in the opportunity zone, but I think we could see some volatility here at the bottom of that cloud. Standard deviation, not what we want yet. Nothing too extreme on the hot sensors on either the daily or the weekly. So yeah, this one I think we're going lower. That 200-day moving average on the weekly is about 103. So for me, if I could get Solana around 100, that's fantastic. So that's what I'll be looking for personally. You do you, but that's what I'm doing. SWI, ETF coming for SWI, Bitwise. Pay attention to that. That will be coming down the pipe. All right, just double checking with my daughter. She's all right. So again, SWI, good stuff coming. We're in the zone. This is probably, it looks like basically a triple hit here. Even though it shows a downtrend, I'm not sure how much further this can go. We've seen our red hot sensors. Like just to see some improvement in the standard deviations. We've got level 3s on the weekly. And again, you see these level 3s on the weekly. That's a long-term outlook, and I keep telling people when you start getting red hot sensors and level 3s on the weekly, that is good for maybe a potential turnaround. So keep your eyes open. BitTensor Tau. Got some positive on the daily. We're hanging right in around the bottom of our leverage liquidation zone. Nothing extreme, so probably some more volatility with the standard deviations not where we want them to be yet. We are starting to see level 3s on the weekly, which is good. So close, just no cigar yet. Trump token. Let's see what we got for Trump token here. VeChain, for those into VeChain. Level 3s on the weekly with the red hot sensors. Red on the short or long-term daily view. Orange, no diamonds yet. Just waiting on the standard deviations here. So that's VeChain. Again, this thing tends to hover between, and I think I've seen this thing go up to 8 cents, but 1 to 2 cents and then upwards of 8 and back. I think they control the price of that, I believe, based on the way their governance mechanisms work. So, if you like VeChain and the whole supply chain management play, obviously that's a big one with Sunny Lou, but you can check that out. That may be it. We'll go World Liberty, and then we'll do XCC and XLM. So World Liberty, again, I've been saying this for several weeks now, or maybe more, but yeah, 10 to 20 cents here. That's your ranges. It's just hovering. It's relatively new to TradingView, so not a lot of history here, but again, you can see even with the limited history, we don't have any diamonds, nothing extreme, so it's just floating in between those two zones. XDC, fantastic long-term play. I like this one. Trade finance play. Again, stuff doesn't lie. We're smack dab in the middle of the zones. Just waiting on some. It looks like we're about to get a crossover on the daily hot sensor, the short term, improving on the other ones. So could be a good sign here. Looks like we're actually closing above the cloud. So we're going to see some probably resistance up here somewhere. A return to that cloud, which by then we should have a confirmed uptrend, and then we can see we got roughly 10 cents to the high side, so that's a double up for XDC. Again, not financial advice there. And then last one for the crypto XLM, basically 40 to 45. We're currently at 21, 22 area of volatility, but we're in the zone, so do what you will with that. That's going to wrap it up for the show today. Again, that is the crypto rapid fire session. I think I do see at least one person in the chat. Maybe if there's any tokens you missed or you want me to recircle back to before I close it down, let me know in the chat. It is December 20th, 2025, crypto rapid fire. I'm Jason. I created the system that you see to help me identify opportunity zones in cryptos and stocks. Again, if you appreciate technical analysis you can't get anywhere else, please like, share, subscribe, and help us continue to grow. This is not something you see on other channels. I built it. No one else has this. It's not publicly available on TradingView. That may change next year. I'm not sure. I really don't want to have to charge a lot of money for it. Appreciate everyone watching today. We love you. We're just trying to help inform and educate, get people prepared for what's coming next. Till next time. Tell us what you want to see in the comments, and we will try to cover those for you. Take care.